Christmas, girls and boys. I'm on my way with lots of toys to all you kids from 2 to 92. Merry Christmas.
So we just finished watching 2003's Love Actually. Considered to be a classic holiday movie in these
It's
days.
on the list of classics to rent or buy on Amazon Prime.
Mm-hmm. So we watched it, and we've been watching this movie for a few years now. I forget when we started.
The first time I ever watched Love Actually was in our first apartment together. You had seen it before.
Was it that long ago?
Mm-hmm.
And I have to ask, hon. We've watched it a few times, you know. What did you think about this time around?
I think, as I always think, that this movie is filled with trash people and a few victims of truly monstrous behaviors. And also Bill Nighy.
And Bill Nighy, who is...
And Martin Freeman and that cute little Welsh girl, that's her name I can't remember.
Yeah. So, for those who aren't familiar, and I imagine most people are, but for those who aren't, this, what would you call this?
This is... The other movies like this movie...
Yeah.
Well, first of all, it's made by the people that made Bridgestone's Diary and Notting Hill. Apparently, I'm reading that.
Oh, really?
I'm looking at that right now on the screen.
Oh, what do you know
But,
right there?
which makes sense. Tonally.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Also, the people that are in it. That makes sense.
Yeah, you've got a wide cast of famous people. You've got Liam Neeson.
It's
got
like
Hugh Grant.
the Valentine's Day and New Year's movies that they have made in America, trying to cash grab on this sort of shit of an ensemble movie with a bunch of different people in it, but everybody's got very loosely connected storylines.
Yeah, they might be a brother or a friend, or, you know, they work in the same place, and you follow, you know, the story of all these different characters.
Hosts a really shitty Christmas party in your art gallery, sure.
Yeah. And it's like, it starts out 5 weeks before Christmas, and it keeps building up to Christmas Day, and there's a couple of, you know, of conflicts, and it all revolves around relationships and love, and...
This movie begins with Colin Firth's despicable wife clearly faking some sort of illness of a cold or something. This woman's nose was red, so either she happened to coincidentally have a cold that she didn't mind spreading to other people, or this woman was rubbing her nose raw to try to fucking make it look convincing. He goes to his friend's wedding, pops home, as Kyle's has said, because he definitely must have had some spidey sense about this shit.
Yeah.
Finds his trash brother in the house. There's tension there. His wife's fucking his brother. That's how this movie starts.
Yeah. You hear her shout from across, you know, the room, you know, please come back soon, you know, I want to have you twice before, you know, my husband comes back.
Reading between the lines.
Like, whoa!
He then flees to France, where he's given a Portuguese housekeeper. I don't really know what her job is.
Yeah.
I guess it's to keep the house. She's only there during the day, because he has to drive her home at night.
So the house is in France.
He's got a house in France.
But this girl is from Portugal. And I guess... Alright.
He does not speak Portuguese. She only speaks Portuguese.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
But okay.
He's an author. He's writing, I assume, a shitty crime novel.
Yeah.
He even says that it's shitty.
Yeah.
He has to drive her home at night. They don't speak, because he can't speak her language, and she can't speak his, and they don't understand each other at all. Until, woo, she picks up a fucking coffee cup, all his stupid papers that he's writing fly into a lake.
Yeah, so Colin Firth is writing his book outside. He's got a typewriter. This is 2003. He's got his cell phone out, and he's typing away on a typewriter. She comes along, picks up his coffee cup, and half his book goes flying into the lake. And it's a whole, like, oh no. They start playing the music.
This woman strips. All of a sudden, now she's got his attention. Okay, now he's like, let's have a conversation.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I've seen your body now.
He dives in afterwards. Then they have a romantic moment, have their first actual, I guess we'll call it a conversation, because they do communicate with each other. She manages to, like, mime, like, what type of book are you writing? And he, like, mimes it's crime, murder.
Only 10% of communication
Exactly,
is verbal.
as Kyle likes to say to me all the time. That would be cute if it didn't end with them saying in their own languages, the worst part of my day is leaving you.
The best part of my day
is driving you home.
That seems conflicting.
Everything they say is the opposite of one another, first of all. So, like, it's not even like they're saying the exact same... I mean, same message.
Yeah,
but,
same
like,
message.
What? You've never spoken to her until literally right this second was the first conversation you had with this girl, as far as we're aware.
So, one of the themes of this movie is people falling in love very quickly.
Reading between the lines, had not noticed this before. He shows up to the French house. The lady who hires the Portuguese woman, Aurelia. Mm-hmm. The lady who hires Aurelia says to him, are you bringing any, like, lady friends? Yeah. He had a wife. So I'm like... Like, maybe it wasn't his wife. Maybe that was his girlfriend. Probably a girlfriend. You know what?
Probably a girlfriend.
Anyway.
We assumed.
Either way, he says something like, no. So she clearly wasn't even that serious that the lady, like, knew of her.
Yeah.
And he says, alone again. So I feel like he has this is indicative of a pattern to me. The way he was, like, love bombing this woman at the beginning of this movie.
Yeah. Do you think he swings hard?
I think he swings hard.
Yeah.
Because, spoiler alert, he drops her off at the airport for her to go home at the end of the season. I don't know what the fuck that was. It was in the middle of, I don't know, was she just going home for Christmas? Like, why?
Yeah, and she clearly had another job at a restaurant.
She clearly had another job where she's from, so I don't really understand, like, why she was in France for, like, 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Anyway,
not
he's
long.
there a few weeks, drops her off, she kisses him, says in Portuguese, basically, that she's in love with him, leaves. He leaves, gets into a car accident because he's an asshole. Then he fucking starts taking Portuguese lessons. Kind of cute, sure.
Yeah.
But the Portuguese lessons are so that he could fly to Portugal on Christmas after he bails on his shitty family.
Yeah, which he, like, walks in and is like...
Quite frankly, I applaud you
his
for
brother
bailing
was
on
there.
your shit family.
Yeah.
Anyway, goes to Portugal, finds her family, asks her dad, says to her dad that he wants to ask her to marry him, finds her at her other job, working at a restaurant, proposes to this bitch after fucking weeks of knowing her and having one conversation, and she says yes because she's apparently been learning English. That, as Kyle has said, sets up a theme. Lots of people fall in love very fast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, let's just jump to what I'm looking at on the screen right now. The Prime Minister of England, Hugh Grant. He is young, new Prime Minister. He seems a little bit nervous about the job, but, you know, he walks into the place and he's being introduced to his staff. We got a old man, we got this other woman, and then we got a young woman who apparently curses a lot. He's like, calls him David by his first name. And
How
then
charming.
Like, oh shit.
What a personality.
I just called you David. Oh shit. I said shit twice now. But the Prime Minister, Hugh Grant, is kind of liking this. He's like, we could have said fuck, and we all would have been a big thing. It would have been a problem.
And then she says fuck. Anyway.
Yeah, and then, like, that happens. He starts walking away. The music plays. Doo-doo-doo. He turns around his shoulder and looks at her, and apparently
basically crumbles to his
has fallen in love. So you have to do to sway the Prime Minister of England in 2003.
Say a bunch of curses.
Say a bunch of curses, and apparently be a chubby gal, which... What? Yeah.
I don't understand this. She says at one point that her boyfriend broke up with her because he said she was getting fat, and nobody wants this fat woman.
This girl that has tree trunk thighs.
She's got tree trunks for thighs. I don't know what skinny ass fucking trees are in Britain.
Yeah.
But this
If you've ever seen this movie, she walks away and it's like, what the... And she has a shape. And it certainly isn't a tree trunk.
You know.
Yeah.
The other theme of this, which I'll get to later, is that immensely unprofessional workplaces. But that begins with the fucking Prime Minister, where he wants to fuck his own, like, catering manager. I guess
that's her role, right? Yeah.
Anyway, wants to have sex with her. the American president, who's a douchebag, shows up at one point.
Played by Billy Bob Thornton.
And literally sexually assaults this woman.
Yeah.
While he steps out of the room,
Yeah.
like, while Hugh Grant is out of the room for, like, 2 seconds.
USA.
That sparks a literal change of national policy on behalf of Britain. Unexpectedly, he was ready to, like, roll over for the American president or whatever, and then he sees him inappropriately touching his catering manager that he happens to have a crush on, then goes on national television and blows the fuck up.
Yeah, has a great moment for Britain, and, you know, starts calling out, you know, Harry Potter and how Britain's great.
And then dances to 80s music alone throughout his house. I don't understand. Are there speakers in all the walls?
Yeah.
I don't know what that was.
You could afford
Anyway, but then he's like, well, I did this because I'm very attracted to this woman, so I kind of need my little, like, personal secretary here who is incredibly unprofessional and straight up calls this catering manager woman, Natalie, fat.
Yeah, again, harping on this whole thing.
To basically displace her from this,
Yeah.
which I assumed meant fired. But anyway,
She disappeared after that.
she disappears. He gets a card from this girl for Christmas apologizing for the American president sexually assaulting her.
Yeah, there's no reason for her to apologize. Nothing to apologize
And he's
for.
like, oh, I should go find her.
Yeah, I should say
And
I'm
then
sorry.
he uses government-funded cars to drive around the fucking city
taxpayer money
to find
at
her
good
house
work here.
because he can't take 5 seconds to call, I don't know, anyone on his staff to find her address.
She used to be an
consider
employee.
she worked there, and they have it on file.
Yeah, it would have taken, 5
Anyway,
seconds.
no, instead he's gonna knock his way through the neighborhood, finds her whole ass family in this little house on their way to a Christmas pageant. She again apologizes for the president inappropriately touching her.
Yeah.
And then he shows up there. I don't know what to do. What did he show up there to do? Because she confesses that she loves him.
Yeah.
And he's like, I gotta go.
Yeah, I gotta see this
She's
through.
like, please stay for the Christmas pageant.
Yeah.
Please. It wouldn't be appropriate. Fuck you. What did you come here for?
Yeah, what was the point?
She finally convinces this motherfucker to go in there. He runs into his sister, who's had a lot of other things happen to her that evening.
Yeah, more on Emma Thompson.
But he, clearly doesn't give a shit about his niece and nephew, because he didn't even know this was going on. But
No,
he got
he
to
didn't care.
claim credit for being a good
good
uncle,
a good uncle,
brother,
showing up
whatever.
to his thing.
Anyway, they inappropriately start making out during a 12-year-old singing "All I Want for Christmas Is You" on the stage. The whole world is, gets to see their love play out.
Yeah.
And now they're just together, so that's great.
Yeah. So I guess that all worked out in the end,
That's
didn't
great.
it? Yeah.
Honestly, one of the less problematic things to be in this movie.
Yeah, right? Isn't that a strange thing? This is one of the better storylines. So we're at this pageant, and it bubbles down to this 12-year-old girl singing All I Want for Christmas Is You, and it's this little boy's crush, love of his life. He's decided it. And this little boy is...
Named Sam.
He's Liam Neeson's son in this movie, but yeah.
This movie also opens with a funeral of this little boy's mother.
Yeah.
Liam Neeson's wife.
Yeah. And it's
He's
very, very, very
sad.
emotional. It's very sad.
Very emotional.
And the kid is locking himself in the room.
The kid is locking himself in
his
his room.
dad is,
His
is
dad is
concerned.
he could be shooting heroin in his eyes. I'm like, where the fuck?
So Liam Neeson finally...
Could it be that this child might just be deeply affected by the death of his mother?
You'd think so, right?
Joanna.
And finally, Liam is talking to his son Sam, and the son is finally like, do you really want to know? And he's like, yeah, please tell me. And he's like, okay, well, turns out that I'm in love. And then,
Doesn't give a fuck that his mom is
No. He's like, oh, I'm sad my mom is
Yeah, I mean,
gone,
I'm
sure.
sad, but
Yeah,
also this girl who happens to have the same name as my mother.
Yeah, another Joanna. Yeah, we won't look into that.
We're not going to touch too deeply in
the
that.
The movie
Why
certainly
Liam
doesn't.
Neeson's reaction was not to send that boy to a therapist, I don't know. Instead, it's to tell him how to get girls in this weird makeshift pickup artist thing where they watch Titanic and shit, and then the kid apologizes for not asking his dad about his love life. What, 3 weeks after his mom croaks? What the?
Yeah, and you think that's an exaggeration? That's exactly what he said to his son.
Is this movie?
They're laying down on a couch head to head, and he's just like, yeah, don't worry. It'll happen.
He finds out this girl sings, so he's like, you know what girls like? Musicians. I'm gonna learn how to play the drums in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, and testament to this kid's, he learns how to play the drums. He can hold a beat. He starts out as a whole little montage sequence of him, making loud noises, and Liam Neeson's walking around like, oh, this is so loud. It's 5 in the morning.
Haha, he's playing the drums. What a pain.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but he does it. He
learns how to play the drums.
Yeah, does great.
Does an amazing job. The girl points at him at one point during the song. He gets all good, but then she's a showman, so she points to everybody in the audience too. He gets pissed. He thinks everything has failed. Also, he finds out Joanna's family's moving back to America
that night.
Immediately after the end of the pageant. Which, why would you leave literally straight from the on Christmas?
Not even like a dinner celebration after the successful pageant. It's like,
not even enough time for this child to say goodbye to her friends.
Yeah, we're gonna do this concert. And
we're gonna throw this child in the back of a fucking van and drive her to the airport. The dad, Liam Neeson, is like, we go into the airport. The airport, son. This just makes me a little upset. Anyway, they drive to the airport. By the way, this movie takes place after 9/11.
It's 2003.
Anyway, they drive to the airport. This little 12-year-old boy sneaks past security.
And makes a run for it.
Runs for the gate.
Yeah.
He's being pursued by 4 fucking TSA officers.
And they can't catch him. He's too fast for them.
They cannot catch him. He finally catches up to Joanna. Catches up to her. The TSA agents catch up to the kid, but don't seem to do anything at first. And he, just basically doesn't say shit. He's astounded this girl knows his name.
Yeah,
she's like, Sam. Oh, hi, Sam. And he's like, you know my name? She's like, of course I know your name. Yeah, you played drums for her song. Of course she knows who you are. He is grabbed by security and thrown out, not even thrown in jail, or Liam Neeson is not brought to jail for letting his son run rampant in the fucking airport.
Yeah.
She shows up.
Liam's playing it cool. He's just turning his head, smiling, I don't know who this kid is. It's gonna be my son. I don't know. But yeah, the kid shows up. He's smiling because he's like, cool. I got to see her one last time.
She shows up before she gets on the plane, kisses him, and fucking leaves.
Yeah.
And then at the end of this movie, a month later, is coming back to visit this kid. She just moved.
Yeah.
What do her parents do?
Yeah.
How do you afford this?
Yeah, a lot of trips back.
Anyway, also friends with Liam Neeson. The connective piece between Hugh Grant and Liam Neeson is Emma Thompson.
And her story.
Scumbag of a fucking husband.
Yeah.
Played by the late, lovely Alan Rickman. Okay. So Emma Thompson is a great friend. She also has a weird moment at the beginning of this movie. She's talking to Liam Neeson about him being worried about his son being in his room all the time, and she says she's glad that her shitty son stays in his room all the time.
Yeah,
we never discussed that ever, but she's just like, yeah, my terrible son stays in his room all the time, thank God.
I don't think I've ever caught that.
What the fuck was that? Anyway, she, other than that weird moment, is a lovely woman.
Yeah, lovely woman, lovely wife, mother.
Lovely wife to Alan
checks
Rickman.
all the boxes. She's a good lady.
She's fun.
Yeah.
Alan Rickman is her husband. He works and seems to own some sort of design agency.
Yeah. Not a great workplace culture, for sure.
He begins his first scene in this movie is saying to Laura Linney, how long have you wanted to this coworker of yours?
Carl,
God, you gotta do it
because it's driving us all crazy.
So perhaps it is not a surprise that his new secretary is so overtly trying to Alan Rickman that it's like
She's talking about
insane.
Dark, quiet places they could sneak away and spreading
this
her
girl
legs
is
on
the
a chair.
most insane person I've ever. And I really, obviously she's not a good person, but there's got to be some family history here. I don't know what sort of trauma this girl must have gone through. She must be deeply insecure. She straight up, every conversation she has with her boss, it's like, there's many dark corners for doing dark deeds.
Yeah.
What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
She shows up to the Christmas party that she organizes, dressed as the devil.
Yeah, little
straight up
furry devil
dressed
horns,
as the devil.
And starts dancing with him.
Dancing with him and saying that she will literally give every piece of her body to him.
Yeah, whispering in his ear, "This is all for you."
Emma Thompson is there.
Yeah, hanging out.
And quite frankly,
seeing this,
a cool fucking wife.
Yeah,
because she doesn't freak out about that.
She plays it cool. She takes notes.
Goes home. She's like, "I see you, girl."
She downloads it.
She downloads it. When they get home, she's like, "That girl's interesting. Be careful."
Yeah, it just says,
"Be careful."
Be
careful.
She gives him fair fucking warning.
Is he careful? No. Because all of a sudden, this girl's like, "Are you gonna buy me a Christmas present?" And he's like, "I don't know." And then immediately after that, calls her on the phone as he's waiting for his wife to go Christmas shopping. And is like, "Well, what do you need? Staplers and shit?"
Yeah, some stationery.
No, I don't want staplers. I want something I don't need. I want something pretty. And he's like, "Okay."
Yep. So he goes.
While he is with, this is what I don't understand. What exactly is the thinking here? Why are you, the second you meet up with your wife, you separate, go to the jewelry counter to buy a gift for a woman that you clearly want to sleep with that's not your wife.
From Mr. Bean.
That's funny because Mr. Bean takes forever to wrap the present and Alan Rickman gets all like, and leaves.
Can we be quite quick
Emma
about
Thompson
this?
kind of clocks that he's looking at the jewelry counter, but she drops like, "You're kind of shit at giving presents and always gives me scarves, so I'm not expecting anything."
Yeah, don't worry about this.
Anyway, then he's really late coming home one night. She, takes his coat, feels something in his pocket, sees the jewelry box, and is like, "Holy shit. Oh my god, he bought me jewelry. That's amazing."
Yeah, she's so excited. Rightfully so. She's getting scarves for a decade now, and she's like, "Wow, this is a gold necklace.
Oh my god,
this is amazing."
he's doing something nice.
Yeah.
Christmas. They're opening the gifts. She sees a square box the same size as the little jewelry box and is like, "I want to open this present from you." Inside is not a gold necklace, but a Joni Mitchell CD, which any other way, if he wasn't trying to cheat on his wife, would have been very sweet because they had a nice little moment talking about Joni Mitchell earlier in the movie. She, understandably, goes to her room to cry.
Yeah, she puts on the CD, and then...
This is conveniently moments before they have to leave for this Christmas pageant, of course.
And then it's literally an entire minute of just her listening to the music, still shot of her crying. It's just and she doesn't deserve this. This is awful.
She leaves, has to put on a good face for her children.
Yeah.
Go to the thing. She does have a fantastic confrontation moment. That was...
Oh, yeah.
When she's like, "If you were me and, you knew that I was cheating on you with some piece of ass, what the fuck do you think you would do? Would you continue looking like a fucking fool?
Yeah.
Or, would you cut and run?"
And then
he's like, "Oh, no.
And then it feels like he's kind of shocked to his core.
He says he's sorry. He's not sorry. He's just like,
no. He's sorry that he got caught.
Sorry that he got caught.
Yeah.
He also clearly had sex with that girl because we see her put the fucking gold necklace on, wearing nothing but her underwear.
Yeah,
that's the heavy implication here.
They never show explicitly that they did anything physically. However, it's very heavily implied, and even if they didn't. You don't be buying gold
necklaces
for
some
secretary.
Girl that works for you that's clearly coming on to you.
Yeah.
that girl needs to go to a therapist. Like, I don't know what the hell happened to her. I'm not going to blame her because she's not married. Alan Rickman is married. He's a piece of shit. Anyway, Laura Linney has probably the most depressing storyline in this entire fucking movie.
Yeah, it hurts every time.
This girl, Laura Linney, works for Alan Rickman. She's the one where he was incredibly inappropriate and only seems to want to talk to you about when she's going to fuck her coworker that also works for him. Yep. I don't know what the hell that's about.
Carl.
We don't know what their relationship is. I pray to God it's very friendly.
I would hope so.
And not him just being like, why won't you have sex with him?
Yeah, it's like...
Carl has no personality, only abs.
Yeah, Carl is an attractive man.
She feel like she's been in love with Carl since the minute she's met him, which Again, girl, no, you're not.
She fell in love with the abs.
Anyway.
You got good arms,
you
got a good
slowly
back.
find out that Laura Linney has a brother that is deeply emotionally and mentally disturbed.
Yeah, he lives like in an assisted living area.
Her parents are dead.
Yeah.
And she is now the sole like caretaker. I mean, obviously she's not doing the caretaking day to day because he's living in a home.
But the sole family.
The sole family and emotional caretaker for this person.
It's very hard. So he'll call lots, and he thinks that he's being,
finally gets Carl to like drive her home from the Christmas party. They're gonna have sex. He calls. She takes the call. Okay, maybe she needs to learn boundaries and like let it go to voicemail every once in a while. But like, holy shit, she's not gonna learn that like in the moment. Carl seems like he's understanding, but then they never try to ever hook up again.
Yeah, I want to take a little time onto this because finally Carl and Laura Linney get together. They kiss. They're making out. They're gonna have probably have sex in her apartment. That's great. So they go up there. They start making out. The phone rings. Laura Linney answers it because it's her brother. She feels like she has a responsibility to answer the phone, and that happens. And it seems like kind of nonsense. He's talking about like I don't even know
the Pope,
the Pope that
stuff like that,
and or Bon Jovi, that he needs Bon Jovi to do an exorcism, he's mentally disturbed. And then a moment where Laura Linney explains to Carl that that's her brother. He has problems. He calls lots, and at first he seems understanding of that. So he's like, life's full of interruptions and complications, and they start kissing again. Good to go. Phone rings again, and he's just like, do you think it would help if you answered the phone? And Laura says no. So he tries to convince her to not answer it, but she can't do that. She feels like she has to answer it, so then she does. And then it ends. Like they don't continue.
Well, the brother does ask her to come.
Yes, that is true.
So she has to leave.
She has to leave. But
but I'm like, dude, if it bothers you that much, I mean, if you think that this is like a boundary problem, if you like her, then shouldn't you be like, I'm concerned for you as a person.
Yeah.
That you get to live your life because you deserve to live your life.
Yeah.
So, also you clearly don't fully know the whole thing here. I think it's a little harsh to just never give this girl another chance or try.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's waiting for her to make the next move here.
Yeah, maybe that could be the implication.
Which, alright, I guess.
Maybe, but...
Carl seems like an idiot.
Yeah,
anyway,
I don't know.
so Laura Linney literally always ends up alone. We see her interact with her brother. The first time is heartbreaking because he tries to hit her.
Yeah.
And she just tells him to don't do that.
Yeah.
And then it ends them together at Christmas, and he hugs her, and it's lovely, and it's so incredibly sad.
It is.
And that's where we're left with that.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this?
Yeah, that's Laura Linney's happy ending. Not
her
happy at all.
Happy ending is she's with her brother, and he doesn't try to hit her this time.
Yeah,
that's great.
They hug, and it's Christmas. He's wearing a Santa hat.
Anyway.
Yeah. But we would be remiss if we, there's so many storylines. It's hard to get to them all.
The key point, we've got a lovely little minor storyline with Martin Freeman and that little Welsh girl that's super cute.
Yeah, that one's great.
They're like on a set. They're stand-ins, but they keep having to take their clothes off as part of this, and they fall in love with each other while they're doing that. And they go on a date. It's very cute.
Yeah.
One of the more healthy relationships, even though he apparently proposes to her and they get married? ? Like
so in
a month's
within
time.
5 weeks, they're already married.
But
so
anyway,
that's weird. But that's whatever.
Neither here nor there.
And then Bill Nighy and his manager, I really love. That's one of the best parts of the movie. Honestly,
has nothing to do with romantic love. It's about him realizing that the most important person, the person that's always been there for him, is his manager. He makes a shitty Christmas song that goes #1 due in part to his zany antics.
Yeah.
And they have a great Christmas, and it's all good.
Yeah, and I like Bill Nighy.
Bill Nighy is not a piece of shit in this movie. He's a
yeah.
delightful, weird old man.
Yeah, he's an old rock star, who did dumb things, when he was younger.
He's a heroin addict.
He's a heroin addict.
Great now. Yeah. It's all good.
Yeah, he's all solid.
And then the other minor... Okay, well, yeah, there's 2 really storylines that remain. Related to the Martin Freeman and the little Welsh girl, there is a guy that's always on the film set. I don't understand. I don't know what that is. Talking to his shitty friend.
Yeah.
Named Colin. Who's just constantly strikes out with women in the UK because he's disgusting.
Yeah, he's trying to just give people in the UK or the office muffins and being like, "Hey, here's my muffin."
I don't really know why he's in that office.
Yeah,
and then he's later catering the wedding.
So I guess he works in food.
He's a food guy.
He's a food guy. He's catering to folks. But he's trying to pick up gals, and he's just striking out hard because he's gross. He's a gross dude.
He is convinced that if he goes to America, he will be a sex god.
Yeah.
That is his words.
And his friend is trying to be like, Colin, you're a moron.
You're a moron.
This is
That's
not
how life works. Yeah. But guess how it works in love. Actually, Colin goes to Wisconsin on Christmas, finds basically, I guess, Playboy rejects hanging out in this bar.
One of them played by January Jones.
A random bar. Who, I would like to say, is wearing a fur coat.
And that's going to be important because then, Colin gets to this bar and then these just 3, Molly said it best, Playboy rejects, cute gals are in love with this guy. They love his accents.
One of them has crucifix earrings, which I've never seen before. They are the most interesting earrings I think I've ever seen.
They're having Colin say, bottle and straw and table. The table's the same, but because of his funny accents. And then it gets to the point of where are you staying tonight? And Colin's like, I don't know. I think I'll just do it like the movies and stay in a motel. And they're like, oh my god, that's so cute. No. Come home with us.
We live in a 1-bedroom apartment with literally 1 mattress in it.
Yeah.
And
this basically turns into
we don't have enough money to afford pajamas.
Yeah. So whoever...
Girl, what the fuck are you talking about?
Whoever wrote this was just writing a teenage sex fantasy. Oh, these 3 girls...
What is far more likely to happen is these girls would then get into a fight over who gets Colin. Not, let's have an orgy in our house.
Yeah.
And then there's a 4th one that's the sexy one named Harriet, who is literally dressed as a cowgirl in Wisconsin in the middle of winter.
Yeah.
When I say a cowgirl, I mean she has not even tights on.
Yeah, her legs are out.
Her legs are just, her bare legs are
in Wisconsin.
Out. In Wisconsin, in the middle of the winter.
Yeah, that's
what I don't understand.
That's some bullshit right there.
Anyway, I don't know what jackpot this crazy British motherfucker What I thought is actually when you watch it and they first start hitting on him, it really seems like this is going to end in them robbing him.
Yeah, right. There's no way this is.
There's no way that's how that would end.
Yeah.
He, after a month, comes back with Harriet, the hot one, and her sister for his friend. And they're all still dressed like cowgirls.
Yeah.
And I'm just, it's not cold in England. I don't understand. Maybe her legs are just numb.
This is January at this point.
Anyway, January Jones.
Jones. So Colin gets a happy ending.
Colin gets his happy ending, and it makes me sick. The grand finale of trash people,
yes,
though.
This is it.
I have thought long and hard about this. This motherfucker is the worst. Well, Alan Rickman's probably the worst, but very, very close second. This entire movie starts with the wedding that where Colin Firth, in between, wedding and reception, found out his shit partner was cheating on him with his brother. The wedding where Colin was like, I need to go to America because British women don't want me. The wedding that Laura Linney was at too, apparently.
Yeah, really.
Nothing really fun happened with her. She was just there.
Links a lot of characters, this wedding.
The wedding of Keira Knightley and Chiwetel Ejiofor is happening. Keira Knightley is what, like a fresh, 18 years old?
Yeah, she's a child.
She's a child bride, basically.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my god.
Andrew Lincoln is the best man of this wedding and organizes some weird, crazy people playing songs. All You Need Is Love at the end of their wedding that they were not even aware of.
Got trumpets,
it's all
trombones.
romantic.
It's good, people singing.
He's hanging out. He looks depressed during the reception at times when he talks to Laura Linney.
Yeah.
There's a segue where they talk about how shitty their DJ is. It seems like a normal wedding. Anyway, turns out the photographer fucked up royally, and all their wedding pictures and video were blue. So Keira Knightley reaches out to Andrew Lincoln because he was filming on their wedding day and wants it. We find out through their conversation that apparently this piece of shit has always been incredibly frosty to Keira Knightley.
Yeah, even though
not friendly at all.
Yeah, the best friend, the husband, patches her through to Keira Knightley and is like,
please be
nice.
To her.
This is enough of a problem.
And he's
yo,
not.
Stop
guess what? He's not nice to her.
Yeah,
he's like, please.
He's a cold dick to her.
If you
still.
have any footage, can I just look at it? I just want a picture of me. Not in a blue dress.
Yeah, can you imagine all your wedding photos being
fucking
blue?
Asshole is like, well, I wasn't really doing very much.
Yeah.
Blah.
And I think I deleted them all.
Also,
already,
know this guy's a piece of shit because he is friends with the girl who dresses like the devil to seduce Alan Rickman, and they have the party at his art gallery, which is just filled with photos of people naked with Santa hats on their tits.
Yeah.
And he gets mad when people laugh at that. Fuck you. Art is subjective, you motherfucker. Anyway. He finally, Keira Knightley has no choice but to show up at this asshole's house, unexpected, with pie.
Yeah, with a treat.
Cute as a button.
Cute as a button, sweet as cherry pie.
And she's just like, so I guess really, can I please, look at the thing? He's like, well, I looked at it and, I probably deleted it. And she's like, isn't it here on the shelf? Right.
So finds the VHS.
VHS not in a box, which I think means
labeled the wedding.
Watching it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Pops it in the VCR. Ha ha ha, let's sit down. It starts fine. Oh. Weird close-ups on Keira Knightley's face. Her eyes and mouth are the only thing visible in certain shots.
Yeah. And for the first few, maybe 30 seconds, it's she's excited about it. She's like, wow, I look really good. I look beautiful. This is great.
He realizes literally every shot of this video is just of Keira Knightley, and most of them are weird close-ups.
Of her eyes
and her mouth.
Yeah.
And maybe her body in certain
And there's
parts.
this beautiful, horrific moment where it dawns on Keira Knightley what's happening here, and her face changes.
Her reaction is, you hate me! Which, this motherfucker is such a scumbag. We'll get to that. Anyway, she leaves. Well, actually, she doesn't leave. I'm sorry.
He leaves.
He says, I'm gonna go to lunch. Bye.
Yeah, and leaves his own apartment.
Has a freak out in the street. And just leaves her there.
Yeah.
Leaves this girl there.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, don't know what she did, how long she stayed in that apartment afterwards, but clearly he shot that video just to, jack off to her face. I don't know.
Yeah, which is disturbing when you rewatch it and realize that that's what he's doing, that he's getting some masturbation fodder ready for later.
Yeah, it's really gross. Anyway.
Don't like it.
He then shows up at this girl's house. Reminder, he was the best man at their wedding. Mm. This is his best friend's wife.
Yes, this is his best friend. Supposed best friend.
Rings the doorbell. She answers the door. Thank God. What if it wasn't her?
What if it was him?
What if it was his best friend?
But just I know my best friend doesn't answer doors anymore.
He doesn't answer doors. He's going to send this... He's so lazy. He's going to send his wife to do that because it's woman's work. Anyway.
Yeah, right? He'd be like, yo, what are you doing with that
boombox and a million cue cards? Anyway...
And this is the thing.
Everyone must have seen this, some version of this scene.
This is a very famous
million
scene.
cue cards and a boombox playing Christmas carols. He tells her, shh, don't tell anyone I'm here. Silently unveils all these cue cards saying that, I'm in love with you. You're not in love with her because you purposely never found out anything about her. You treated her like shit and cold and at an arm's length to the point that everyone thought you hated her.
Yeah, but yet she's in love
You're
with
in
her.
love with her.
Yeah.
You saw your best friend's girlfriend. Thought she was so hot that you apparently can't control yourself. And that is supposed to be romantic?
Yeah.
Anyway, has this whole extremely manipulative cue card display.
Yeah, about I'm gonna waste
about
away.
How she's perfect to him, and how he's wasting his heart on her, but it's okay because he wants to models also, and he's gonna find some hot ass piece, but she will forever be his true love, and that's all he wants to say.
Yeah,
and he
because you tell the truth
on Christmas.
That's another thing I learned.
First of all, the fact that this is silent and this is not a conversation, so she doesn't get to say shit.
No, she has no agency
he then
over this.
Walks away from this display, silent, feeling real satisfied with himself.
What do you think Keira Knightley does?
Mind-blowingly, she runs after this piece of garbage, kisses him on the mouth.
On the mouth. I had misremembered.
On the mouth.
I had misremembered it. Like, maybe it was on the cheek. No, it was on the mouth.
And then leaves.
Yep.
And then this motherfucker just goes, enough.
Yeah. Cha-ching.
It's enough.
It's enough.
You got a kiss.
I got the kiss.
Good for you?
Yeah,
like
this is a classic Christmas
movie. If you
want
to watch a movie that literally enrages you, or just enrages me, maybe I'm alone. Yeah. If you want to watch a movie where a woman who's not fat is called fat, you know, a young boy learns to play the drums for love, a woman lives an incredibly depressing life caring for her mentally ill brother, a woman is cheated on by her husband, who is cheating on his wife with the most insane woman I've ever seen. And also some scumbag who wants to his best friend's wife, then I highly recommend this movie.
And Bill Nighy.
And Bill Nighy.
Let's not forget Bill Nighy.
Singing a delightfully terrible Christmas song.
Yeah. We watch it every year, and we have a great time.
There are many good Christmas movies.
Oh, yeah.
This movie is not good, but it is a good time.
Very much so.
You come at it with the proper perspective.
Absolutely.
I apologize to anyone who thinks this movie is very romantic.
But considering the arguments...
To each their own.
To each their own. Hell yeah. Love actually
is
all around
you.